Hi, I'm Ishita, founder and CEO of MukkaMaar. If you see our journey, we've grown year on year more than 2x, 3x in the last 3 to 4 years. So building an organization which relies on transparency, which relies on live data, and to be able to report those accurately is what I think is a responsibility. Why we went with Zoho Creator was because trust. Scale is not going to be a problem. Secondly, support. Having a partner on board also. And the partner is still again reaching out to the Zoho team. So that flow was very, very seamless. Today, everything that we do, everything gets recorded on Zoho Creator. MukkaMaar started in 2018 to build agency in adolescent girls. And it started because if all girls could really believe that nobody can overpower them, nobody can violate their boundaries, then it would be so amazing. And at that time, when I looked at what all is being done to ensure that children are safe, and especially girls, I saw that a lot of solutions rely on things that are external to girls. So, for example, governments putting CCTV cameras or giving batons to police women, those kinds of things. But, while all of that is happening, how do I ensure that the child that I see who's right outside my home is safe? Because she is still feeling that I am lesser than men. And she's relying on other men for her safety and security. And those very men are the ones who are violating those boundaries. So then we thought that we need to work also on an individual level. And I basically went to the beach and started these classes. And soon enough, it grew a lot because the intervention is very, very powerful. In the last 7 years, we have grown from 4 girls on the beach to having worked with more than 50,000 girls all over India. Our current offline reach is about 8,000 girls in Mumbai and Delhi. And through our digital intervention, we have reached about 35,000 students all across India. So building an organization which relies on transparency, which relies on live data, and to be able to report those accurately is what I think is a responsibility of running a nonprofit. That's why quite early on, I think, several years back, COVID ended, and the first thing we did was we need to have our own technology, and Zoho Creator seemed to be the right platform for us to start our implementation and monitoring work. Before Zoho Creator, it was quite the nightmare that we had. Not because we were losing the data, that was always a priority, but the way we had to procure it and the way we had to analyze it, everything was happening in silos. So a trainer would typically go into the classroom. So there was a Google form, but then we had I think 14 teams. So 14 different fellow teams had 14 different Google forms because each team is mapped to about 9 batches. So if a team opens a Google form and they see 54 batches, and they will be very confused. So each team had a separate Google form with their batch codes, and they had to fill the attendance at the end of that. And then from that Google form, we used to consolidate, team-wise data, and then bring that into a master sheet and then sort of analyze it. So, why we had to do that then as well is because we cannot wait for things to fall apart, and if we start looking at data on a monthly basis, then it's gone, right? So we were looking at that every day. I started building out something like this back in 2018 actually, with a very large company, and I had the worst experience ever because the account wouldn't start. I've had back and forth on email for years together, and it just did not start. And the reason, and it was very expensive, but the reason we were choosing that is because we wanted to make sure that the whatever platform we use can handle scale. So that was the idea. But after a long time, after getting frustrated, then we struck out that name, and then we evaluated multiple other options. Some of them were even cheaper, some of them were expensive. Why we went with Zoho Creator was because trust. Scale is not going to be a problem. I think that's number one. Secondly, support. Having a partner on board also, and the partner is still again reaching out to the Zoho team. So that flow was very, very seamless. Also, I think the flexibility that the platform offered, when we looked at several other solutions, because what we do, if you see the platform that we have on Zoho Creator, it's super complicated. It has a lot of dependencies, and that's something that other platforms were not allowing us to do. The customization was extensive, and we felt that those people don't know fully well how to do it. So we were just like, okay, let's go with something that already exists, because everything that we possibly would need would have been built by Zoho already. All we would need to do is customize on top of it. So then that's where we were like, okay, let's draw the line here. Today, everything that we do, all the activities that MukkaMaar undertakes, apart from the digital program, everything gets recorded on Zoho Creator. The most important part was mapping fellow attendance and batch attendance. That how many students came, because each team of fellows caters to a group of 450 to 500 students who are divided into 9 batches. So each batch has 50 students and so on. So what happens is, now the fellows all use the portal. So they're all mapped to their own batches, their own schools, their own buildings, so that they are not inundated when they look at Zoho Creator and they see, 100 schools. They just see the schools that are mapped to them. Secondly, those schools are, we've put the location of the schools on the app. And so here's what the fellow does when they reach the school. They would enter the premises and they do something called check-in, which gives their manager, which is the program coordinator, their dashboard is very simple. So they have the names of fellows mapped to them. And if the fellow has checked in, there is a green button that appears. If they have not, it stays red. Once they check out, that also becomes green. So it's designed even from a visual standpoint, so that the PC can be, if the PC knows that all my fellows have to reach their premises by 8 a.m., they're not waiting to find out at 8:30 that, oh, I could not reach because XYZ. Because stakeholder management is very, very important. Why the portal was important to us was we've built dashboards for each of the fellow teams as well. So that if they are handling so many students and so many classes, they need to know that the premises that I'm entering today is my 8th class or today is my X class, and pop-ups for them to be able to do their work efficiently. Because if only the leadership looks at data and the person who's actually doing the important work is on ground, but they have no visibility on what their work is finally aggregating to, that's not fair. So the fellow gets to see what's the percentage attendance of this class, what's the percentage of attendance of this school, which teacher has not been sending students to school, all of that on their mobile phones. So that's, I think, a big plus. The second thing is, as you know, we work in violence prevention, and it can be very scary. A big testament of our work is just the overwhelming number of disclosures that we get about violence, where a lot of times, majority of the times, the one measure of success is that girls do tell us that how they have actually fought back against something that's happened to them. And their stories are not just ones of vulnerability where they're saying, this happened, now I don't know what to do. Most of the times it's, this happened and I gave him one punch, or this happened and I have reported to the police and so on. But we still need to record that, because the laws of violence against children are very, very stringent, and we need to make sure that everything is done in our capacity and there are no lapses. So case management is another module that we have built. I have spoken a lot about Zoho Creator already to a lot of people. So all of my non-profit friends or people who are, the only thing I have to say is, are you, one of those old dads ki, kya aap abhi tak so and so karte hain? It's kind of like that. Ki, are you still calling people to ask what has happened on ground? Are you still moving one paper around for weeks to get data? If you're still doing that, now is the time to stop and use Zoho Creator. It will simplify your life, save a lot of time in all of your resources, and most importantly, I think it's really empowering for the entire team to be able to invest their energy and make the best use of their skills.